Teaching number 30. In the teachings that I am giving you, I have called you the people of Israel or the seed of Jacob, and as you understand my lessons, you have realized that spiritually you belong to the lineage of that ancient people, chosen from among the nations of the earth to fulfill the mission of transmitting my revelations to humanity. The seed that I entrusted to Jacob is in the spirit and not in matter as people have falsely supposed, because I tell you that if the inheritance that the first patriarchs bequeathed to Israel had been material, it would still be producing prophets, emissaries and enlightened ones. Instead, see that people carries with them chains of spiritual and material misery, knowing that they can no longer expect the arrival of a Messiah because they have realized that the one who was promised to them was in the bosom of their people and was not recognized. The spirit of Israel as a race is asleep, lethargic in a slumber that has lasted for centuries and cannot see the truth, because it has lived only for the pleasures of the world, hoping to reach its promised land, its redemption and its glory here. But do not think that its sleep will be eternal. No, now that misery, pain and humiliation have been drunk by that people like a new chalice of bitterness, its spirit begins to awaken, finding its way through meditation, and in it discovers that all the prophecies and signs that announced the arrival of the Messiah were faithfully fulfilled in Christ. Their awakening in the most complete form is not far away, their spiritual dawn is approaching, but first they will witness the destruction of the materialism of humanity because of its ambitions, its selfishness and its low passions. When those people are convinced that the kingdom of true peace and grace is not found on earth, then they will look for Christ, the rejected, the unrecognized, to say to him, Master, you were right, freedom is only found in those who love spirituality, because those of us who have coveted material goods have only managed to be slaves. When this confession rises up to me from those hearts, I will cause my new prophets to emerge among them, who will help them prepare on the path of spirituality, which will be that of their liberation. Do not be surprised that those stationary in their evolution for centuries, in a short time manage to travel the path that others who have preceded them have taken so long to reach, and even surpass them. Do not forget that many of them possess spirits that were sent to earth from the earliest times, and that once their restitution is completed, they will return to take their place among those chosen by the Lord, to bring light to their brothers and sisters of all nations. When those who bear the name of Israel by their race meet on the same path with those who are so by spirit, one and the other will unite, recognizing that they both belong to that blessed seed that sprouted through the prophets, with the patriarchs of the first era, and that it be watered with the blood of the Redeemer, in order to flourish in this era of light in which you are listening to me. Now you have me in spirit, although sometimes you doubt it, saying, How can I believe that the Master communicates with us using such an imperfect and humble means? But it is not the first time that you have doubted my presence among you. Also in the second era people said, How can the expected Messiah be the carpenter's son? My children, you cannot penetrate into my high designs, but now that I come to clarify for you the mysteries that you have not understood, open your mind and your heart, so that you may know the reason for many divine manifestations, to the point that your Lord deems it good to reveal to you. In the second era, when among my disciples or among the crowds that followed me, someone asked if I would return among you, I had no reason to hide it from them, and I declared that my return would be in a time of great trials for humanity, and which would be preceded by great events and upheavals in the different orders of your life. That promise that I made to you, I have fulfilled, because none of the precursory signs have been missing, nor have any of the announced events. However, humanity, given over to its spiritual lethargy, has let the signs of my presence among mankind go unnoticed. No one was expecting me. I found your hearts cold, the lamp of love extinguished, you slept through the passing of centuries. Only a few awoke to the call of the Lord's emissary, who approached you to announce that I was knocking at the doors of your hearts. My first communication took place one night while humanity slept, just like the one in which I became a man to dwell among you. If there were few who received me on that occasion, even fewer were those who accompanied me in my new manifestation. But do not take my words as a reproach, for they are not. I am the perfect love that eternally gives you life. I have come to show you the path that will lead you to your salvation in the midst of this wide sea of evil, but months and even years have passed since the moment of my first communication, and since then, one by one the travelers have approached in search of the presence of the Master, and today there are not a few who are present in my manifestations. Now they form multitudes. Do not believe that all those who come to listen to me are convinced of this truth. No, while for some this work is the greatest thing that encourages their hearts, for others it is something they cannot conceive, and then they judge, analyze, investigate, and not finding the truth in the way they want it, they ask me for evidence to believe, just as Thomas did. Then I have told them, do not test me, I am giving you enough demonstrations of my presence, of my truth and of my love, but they persist in their request, saying, if the Master in the second era, already in spirit, materialized in front of Thomas, to prove his faith, why doesn't he now please us unbelievers by materializing in front of us, even if only for an instant? Yes, my children, you would be right to ask me for proof, if your smallness were real and your ignorance certain, but you carry an evolved spirit that does not need material evidence to believe. What you must do is dematerialize yourselves, and thus you will realize that you are capable of understanding my new lessons and that it is not necessary for me to materialize my presence. By the essence of my word, believe in me, it is clear and will not lead you into confusion. Remember that I told you from that time, the tree is recognized by its fruit. Now I tell you, my word will be recognized by its essence. Many times people have wondered why Jesus, even after being crucified, let himself be seen by Mary Magdalene the sinner and then visited his disciples, and yet it is ignored that he had visited his mother, to which I say that it was not necessary for me to manifest myself before Mary in the same way that I did with them, because the communication between Christ and Mary was constant from before the world was. Through Jesus I manifested myself to humanity, to save sinners, and I allowed myself to be seen by them after the crucifixion, to revive the faith of those who needed me. But truly I tell you that Mary, my sweet mother as a human, had no stain to wash away, nor could she lack faith, because she knew who Christ was even before offering him her maternal womb. It was not necessary for me to humanize my spirit to visit the one who, with the same purity and meekness with which she received me in her bosom, returned me to the kingdom from which I came. But who could know the way in which I spoke to her in her solitude and the divine caress with which my spirit enveloped her? This is how I answer those who have asked me this question, often thinking that Jesus' first visit should have been for his mother. The way I manifested myself to Mary needed to be different than the way I made myself perceptible to Mary Magdalene and my disciples. Mary felt me in her spirit. Mary did not mourn for me, nor did she weep for the death of Jesus. Her sorrow was for all of humanity, which she felt at the foot of the cross of her Son as a divine gift from the Eternal, and for whom she offered purity of her body and her blood, so that the Word might become man. On the other hand, when I overtook some of my disciples on the road to Emmaus, seeing me, they did not recognize their master in that wayfarer, until I made them hear my divine word, and when Thomas saw me, he asked me to show him the wound in my side so that he might be convinced that whom he thought was dead was actually alive. For I have come for this purpose, to bring about the birth of some and the resurrection of others to faith. Today I have not only wanted to reveal my message to you, but I have also come to teach you the best way to make it known. During the time of my preaching I have helped your spirit in its evolution, removing harshness, softening character, awakening the disciples so that they give their hearts to charity, to the fulfillment of my commandment that I repeated to you so often when I said, love one another. And although the time for you to rise up to spread my word has not yet come because you have not yet attained the necessary preparation, I have granted to all those who are drinking from this fountain of health, morality and life, that they may begin to practice my divine teachings, so that they prepare themselves, strengthening themselves for the future struggle, so that with their good works they may convince new hearts, those who later will also be farmers and new sowers in the fields of the Lord. Today I see that while some err on the side of fear and discretion, others, on the contrary, are ostentatious, and I do not want you to fall into either of those extremes. I do not want the fear of the judgments of your fellow human beings to cause you to hide, because by doing so you would demonstrate a lack of confidence in my teaching, and if you do not have faith in the power contained in the seed you are about to sow, what will be the harvest of your sowing? Be afraid, yes, that your misconduct will affect you before your brothers and sisters, but as long as you keep your life clean, stand up with dignity and preach my word, making my teaching known to your peers. Do not boast about your gifts and knowledge of the truth that you possess. I tell you that if you do that, you will expose yourself to being subjected to great trials by your brothers and sisters. I have not given you my word so that you can proclaim it on streets and squares. it is true that Jesus did so, but he knew how to answer any question and test those who tried to test him. You are small and weak, you must not therefore brave the wrath of your brothers and sisters. Do not try to attract attention, think that you have nothing special about yourself, do not try to show humanity that everyone is wrong and that only you know the truth, because in this way you will achieve nothing good in your sowing. If you want to evolve spiritually and morally, do not judge the defects of your brothers and sisters, so as not to fall into the same error, correct your imperfections, pray humbly before your master so that you may be inspired by his meekness and remember his advice that you never publicize your good works, that your left hand should never know what your right hand has done. I also tell you that there is no need to go out looking for crowds to talk to them about my doctrine, because my charity will put those in need of your help on your path, but if there are times when, in compliance with my law, you feel the need to do a work of charity and you do not have anyone in need near you, do not despair or doubt my word, for that will be the precise time in which you should pray for your absent brothers and sisters, those who will receive my charity if you truly have faith. Do not aspire to know more than your brothers and sisters, know that you all acquire knowledge according to your evolution. If I were to grant you my light without your having merits, you would exalt yourselves and lose yourselves in your vanity, then your wisdom would be false. I want you to be humble, but to be humble before me, you must also manifest it before your fellow human beings. Disciples, love and wisdom are never separate, one is part of the other. How is it that there are those who try to separate these two virtues? Both are the key that opens the doors of the sanctuary that will allow you to reach the complete knowledge of my doctrine. I have told you, do you want to have many friends? Then make use of kindness, tenderness, tolerance and mercy, because only with the help of these virtues will your spirit be able to shine on the path of your fellow human beings, since they are all direct expressions of love. For the Spirit carries love in its innermost essence, since it is a divine spark and God is love. With my teaching I come to mold you spiritually, so that you may attend the spiritual banquet where you will be able to savor the delicacies of wisdom and perfect love. Know that your destiny is to live as I taught you, that is, in humility, in love, in spirituality, allowing an inexhaustible torrent of charity to flow through your being. In my teaching I show you a broad horizon, and if you make of your life a resemblance to what mine was, rest assured that you will reach my kingdom, to truly rest. My work assures you of eternal happiness in your spirit. Have you not heard in your heart a sweet and harmonious voice that speaks to you every time you do good, when you provide consolation or when you generously grant forgiveness? Who is it that speaks to you in this way within you, rewarding your goodness? It is your Master who never abandons his disciples. With these lessons I help you understand that the virtues are the only things that can adorn your spirit. I also tell you that errors, faults and ill feelings, can be compared to rags that you sometimes cover your spirit with. I want you clean and adorned, because with rags of misery you will not be able to shine in the universal palace of your Father. Good works are the crystalline water with which spirits are cleansed, use it. I speak this way so that you understand that you are outside of your kingdom, and to which you must return, because God is waiting for you. I want to make each person an apostle and each apostle a teacher, because I love you with infinite love, and before a single one of you is lost, I would prefer to feel upon my spirit all the pain that exists and has existed among humanity. In your heart you are saying to me, Master, do you love us so much? And I tell you that you cannot yet comprehend my love, but it should be enough for you to know that each child who returns to God is a treasure that returns to the Father. I must inform you that everything will return to the bosom of God. All the fruits that have sprouted from the creative seed will return to his granary. Oh, beloved disciples! Prepare yourselves so that with intense faith you yearn to reach the true temple built by my charity within you, because there you will find me to accompany you on your path of evolution towards me. I am the one who guides you because I am perfect, I always know where I am going and where I am taking you. I am the good shepherd who cares for you, caresses you and loves you in such a way that I did not hesitate for a single moment to give you, with my sacrifice on the cross, the teaching that will lead you to true life. People believed that by taking Jesus' life they would destroy my doctrine, without knowing that by doing so, they would cooperate in my glorification. I have returned to humanity and I will manifest myself in these halls until 1950, through humble understandings, destined by me for this mission, communicated in this way I will wait for the arrival of the wise ones who will come to question me and deny me. This word, simple and humble in its form, but profound in its meaning, will once again confound the wise in their pride and vanity, and will show them that no one can extinguish the doctrine of Christ and of the Savior, because he is the life. No one can destroy me. I am reborn as I emerged in that time, after a people cast me out from their midst, condemning me to an ignominious death. But if I now appear again in this world, it is because I love you all. O scholars, philosophers, and doctors! You will know that I am your Lord when you come to scrutinize me, because you will see me answering your evil and ill-intentioned questions, and you will be speechless before my counter-questions, and when you find yourself repentant and downcast, without asking me for proofs, I will give them to you, and those proofs will be of love and forgiveness. I am the only one who can resolve your conflicts, the one who truly heals your ills, caresses children and blesses the elderly, the one who, when speaking to humankind, caresses and illuminates their spirits. People and centuries will pass away, but not my Trinitarian spiritualist work. Truly I tell you that this work that is my law and my doctrine, will enlighten humanity. Do not doubt my wisdom, nor challenge my justice any longer. If I accepted your challenge, a weak breath of my elements would be enough for me to turn your science and your theories into dust or nothingness. Do not seek me as judge, look for me as Father, because I am love. O beloved people! You have the mission of spreading my word among humanity today petrified by its materialism. Learn to love it and always have mercy on those who do not understand my lessons of infinite love. Close your lips to gossip, mockery, judgment or criticism. Sheath that two-edged sword that wounds right and left when you wield it. If you want to fight in my name, wield the sword of love. Close your lips, lest they utter blasphemies or cause dishonor. Instead, open your eyes so that you discern evil and turn away from it, but do not judge your fellow human beings, because you are one of them and you suffer from their same defects. When your lips and your heart are washed in the waters of repentance and good works, they will begin to speak the truth of my word, which I will inspire in you. If you speak of my doctrine without first having regenerated and prepared yourselves, instead of awakening faith in hearts, you would only receive the mockery of those who are aware of your faults. On the other hand, if the ridicule and criticism reaches your heart after you have watched and prayed, then they will not succeed in wounding you, because you have already protected yourself with the weapons that I gave you, which are patience, charity, gentleness and love. Be humble and those who love you will truly love you. If you have not attained the preparation of spirit and matter, it would be better for you not to rise up to preach my word, because you will not be able to sow my seed with the purity with which I have given it to you, and it will always be mixed with your imperfections. Before sowing, you must analyze and study my doctrine so that you come to understand and obey my teaching. When you know how to receive the blow on the right cheek and as a sign of forgiveness, love and humility, present your left cheek to your offender, you can trust that you are beginning to be my disciples. Only when forgiveness arises among mankind, will their fratricidal wars cease and the union of all nations will arise. With these teachings I want to prevent you from ever becoming prevaricators, who, while speaking of love, charity and spirituality, you sow the opposite with your works. I tell you this, because among you there are those who are proclaiming that they love me, but in their hearts there is no love for their brothers and sisters. I want you sincere spiritually and materially so that I can call you my worthy children, because otherwise, my voice will reach your spirit relentlessly calling you hypocrites, as I called the sect of the Pharisees in the second era, who were the living image of a sepulchre whitened on the outside, polished and covered with flowers, but keeping inside only rottenness and death. I hear those who say to me, Master, we consider it a very difficult test of having to show the left cheek to the one who hurt us on the right, but nevertheless, we would like to be your disciples. O people! You who, hearing my word, always take it in its material sense, without pausing to understand its spiritual meaning. I tell you that just as you can be touched on the cheek, you can be touched in the heart, in your moral being, and you can also be touched in your spirit. But you must not believe that this test that I ask of you is the greatest that you can bear. In this third era I have come to ask a little more of you, when I ask you in my lectures, if the murderer of your father that was persecuted by human justice, knocked on your door asking for protection, would you grant him shelter, without betraying him, as a sign of forgiveness. That is the test that I now ask of all those who want to be the disciples of the Holy Spirit in this third era. If you put these teachings into practice, truly I tell you that you will be earning yourself a reward, but you should not expect the reward while you are in this world, and I urge you again that you do not judge the actions of your brothers and sisters, because according to your judgment, so will be your sentence. Leave the cause to me, whether just or unjust, known or unknown, and I will give to your brothers and sisters what belongs to them and to you what is due to you. Be humble in all the acts of your life, feel ignorant before the wisdom of your fellow brothers and sisters. Blessed is the one who prepares himself, for he will truly hear me. Blessed is the one who purifies himself and obeys the commandments of his Lord, for he will see me. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. My peace be with you.